went to 24, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Still a
It's
dude.
better than this. Guys being dudes.
Matt Ryan,
That's a dude.
Heisman Trophy, Bronco Nagurski Award,
Ultimate dudes.
Raji on my left,
Herzlich on my right. 2 dudes. O-line you. Bunch of dudes. Dudes to the right. Dudes to the left. Stuck in the middle with you.
WZBC, the Boston College Radio Network, the voice of the Eagles.
Hello, folks. Welcome. Here we are, Two Dudes Sports Show on WZBC 90.3 Boston. I'm Quinn Kelly here with
TJ Hardnett, and we're ready for a fantastic show. It's our weekly show every Thursday, 7 to 8. Thanks for checking us out. We're happy that you're here. Two Dudes Sports Show is the name. Sports of the game. So, what we got to talk about tonight. First, we're going to start off with some Boston College football like we usually do. Boston College coming off a big win against Wake Forest. When I say big win, it was a must win, and we did, and we got it. So, we're going to look forward to our game against Virginia Tech on Saturday. Then, moving on, we'll talk about a call-in topic, which we'll get to later in the show. But basically, it's going to be, what's your favorite, with Halloween tomorrow, what's your favorite Halloween candy? Or not even Halloween candy, candy in general, what's your favorite candy? We'd love to hear it. What are people giving out this year? That's what we want to hear. Moving on, we're going to talk about some postseason baseball. Obviously, we all know San Francisco Giants pulled out a huge win last night in Kansas City over the Royals in Game 7, one of the best series, probably not best series, but because it went to Game 7 and just the star power and how it ended, probably made it one of the best series that I've seen in a while, especially going to Game 7. Then we'll try to get to some NBA, talk about, just tipped off last night. We got LeBron coming in tonight. He'll start for Cleveland, which will be an interesting game going forward. And then, as always, we're going to wrap up with some NFL talk, talking about our weekly predictions, what we've seen from each team, and what we're going to have going forward. So, you want to start off with some Boston College football? Let's hear it.
Let's go for it. So, BC went down to Wake Forest this week, down to Winston-Salem, and got the 23-17 victory. Good victory for BC. Needed victory. Puts us at 5-3, one game away from bowl eligibility. Not the prettiest victory, however.
No.
Came out strong. Came out of the gate. John Hilliman had a great first half.
You know, that's becoming a trend that we're saying that. Every single time we say John Hilliman, week after week. This guy, a freshman, just like us, we're freshmen here too. He actually hails from New Jersey. I've said it multiple times with the St. Peter's Prep. He's just been dominating the running spectrum, and especially he came into a system that obviously Andre Williams just left, and he came into a system where he had 2 sophomore running backs ahead of him, and there has been no contest. Hilliman has taken it and he's run with it, and he hasn't given it back.
No, he hasn't. He averaged over 5 yards a carry, just very slightly over. He had 20 carries for 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe both came in the first half.
Yep.
Just a really solid performance from him. Murphy looked good in the first half too. They came up 17-0 going into the half.
Yeah.
Everything looking BC's way, looking like our blowout predictions were going to be right on point. And then you get to halftime and it's just a totally different story. They came out very lackadaisical.
Yep.
And just
really they got caught in a situation where Wake Forest was a team that is really playing for nothing at this point. They haven't won a game since Army, and the other team they beat was Gardner-Webb. So they're not what's the opposite of undefeated? They're defeated in the ACC. They haven't won a game. They're playing for knocking people down and for their future going forward to give themselves some, reassurance about what they're doing. And Boston College got caught in that, and they almost blew it. They only won by 6, but being up 17, probably, I don't even know what their largest lead is at one point. Could have been more than that. Could have been 21, whatever it was. But Boston College almost got caught in the Wake Forest trap where, Wake Forest is at home. I heard it wasn't a very well-attended game. It's my guess. It was a 3:30 start down there in Winston-Salem, and it was one of those games where it almost came back to bite Boston College, and luckily they got out with a win, which is huge because obviously they lose that, you're almost losing all hope on the season. It was if you can't beat Wake Forest, you're not going to take one from Virginia Tech, you're not going to take one from Louisville, you're not going to take one from Florida State or Syracuse or whoever else you have going forward. So I'm glad to say that they got the win. I'm glad Hillman played well.
Yeah.
Murphy in his own right, he played fine, threw 165 yards, he had a TD. I don't think he had any costly turnovers at all. The one turnover I saw was the muffed punt, or kickoff, whatever
Yep.
it was, by whatever his name, Miles Willis, whatever his name is, 23, our running back, and just wasn't. That could have been something that really came back to bite them. I mean, Wake Forest scored off of it, but luckily we come out with a win. We're 2-2 in the ACC, 5-3. What are we looking at going forward to Virginia Tech? What do you feel?
See, I'd like to think that this is just a blip for BC. This is just them being too cocky coming in and playing against Wake Forest, and that they're going to snap out of it and realize versus Virginia Tech, wake up. This is the time.
This is Virginia Tech.
This is the game that you got to win because, you have Virginia Tech, and they're not an easy opponent.
No.
Certainly not easier than Wake Forest.
Exactly.
And we didn't handle that
Not
too
having
well.
the best year, but they're not someone you can roll over.
Right, exactly. And then after that, you have Florida State,
Mhm.
which is, you're pretty close to counting that as a loss for BC.
Yeah.
Almost definitely.
Mhm.
And then you've got Louisville, who's 25th in the rankings right now. They'll probably drop out after they play Florida State this week.
Sure.
But regardless,
But
they're
then again,
clearly
it's
a good
Florida
team
State. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
They've
they're
had some
a
great
better
games this year.
team
Yeah.
on paper than we are right now. And then after that, you have Syracuse, who's been given, they gave Florida State a little bit of a run.
Right.
They've been playing quality opponents well.
Mhm.
So if you're Coach Adazio and you're talking to the team, you have to be saying,
Yeah.
look, this is the week.
You need it.
You want bowl eligibility.
Here it
This is the week to go out and get it. Because
Exactly.
after that, it becomes monumentally harder.
Mhm.
If you drop this week,
Yeah.
you're going to lose to Florida State.
Yep.
And then
You have the option of Louisville or Syracuse at home to
right,
win.
exactly.
And neither
Louisville's-
of those, yeah.
No, Louisville's a tough opponent
Exactly.
in their own respect.
Mhm.
And then if you lose that game, then you've got Syracuse.
Yep.
You've got that one chance, and
Yeah.
all the pressure's on you.
Exactly.
Right now, you're sitting with a two game cushion from win to loss.
Sure.
This is the game that you have to take it. You
I
have to come out ready to play. and win it.
Completely agree. I was looking at the preview for this game. There's an 80% chance of rain at game time. It's a 12:30 start, so it's a morning game. Virginia Tech is sitting at 4-4. Maybe, a little interesting start with the rain. Boston College jumps out and never looks back. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hopefully.
I mean, we have a better record than them. We're 5-3.
Yep, they're not.
We're 2-2 in the ACC, and they're 1-3. So we're doing better in ACC play. The one team they beat in the ACC was North Carolina, UNC. The teams that we've beaten are Wake Forest and NC State. So we can't talk that much either, because we both lost to Pitt.
Yeah.
And then they haven't played Clemson, as far as I know. And the only other big win they have is Ohio State at the beginning of the year, where everybody was like, "Oh shoot, watch out for Virginia Tech going forward."
Right.
And
You got Braxton Miller.
exactly.
Ohio State.
And Ohio State's still up in the rankings, so it was a big win, but
Yeah,
it wasn't
definitely.
something that they catapulted off at all.
No,
They completely fell and collapsed after that. They
Right,
haven't
exactly.
had a big win at all. Ohio State is their only good win, and it was. I'm not going to say it was pure luck, but maybe they caught a young, don't know how to gel Ohio State team that first week, second week, whenever it was,
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and just took advantage. Yeah.
Coming right off of the news about Braxton Miller, I think that was just a kind of shell-shocked
Yeah.
team that didn't have their stuff together,
Sure.
wasn't ready to play, and Virginia Tech took advantage of that.
Yeah.
I mean, similar to what BC did with USC a
Exactly,
little bit,
yes.
because we didn't really capitalize on that win too much.
No, we came out the next week and we beat Maine, but that was expected.
Right,
And then dropped to Colorado State at home. We're undefeated on the road thus far, which bodes well for us. The NC State game was a lot more prettier than the Wake Forest game that we just
Definitely.
played. So hopefully coming out against coming out against Virginia Tech, get off to an early start like we did against Wake, and we can't have that second half lapse, because a team like Virginia Tech will jump all over that. And this is a team that we need to beat, because like you said, next week, Louisville.
Right.
At home, we've had our moments of glory. We could have beat Clemson. Colorado State was a last second TD. We don't know how we play at home. USC was we're always that game where it's going to come down to the wire no matter what. So Louisville, it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with that. And then if you don't get Louisville, you got Florida State, yeah, and then you got Syracuse.
Right.
And we want to be bowl eligible. Right now, we're looking at the bowl in Detroit. I think it's Quicken Loans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people are saying. If not, I would love it to be the Pinstripe Bowl. So everybody's saying too, which I would be ecstatic about, being a New Jersey person. I'm sure I would absolutely get to that if that did happen. We're going to be suited up against some Big Ten team, but we have to get this win. You have to.
Yeah.
And it has to be this week.
Right.
So
exactly.
that's all we have to really say about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if I could just, say one thing,
Yeah.
I think that the weather in Virginia Tech favors us.
Yep.
I think that if you look at our record so far this year in games where weather's been a factor,
Yep.
you have the USC game,
Mm-hmm.
played very well in the rain.
Yep.
You have the NC State game where you had a weather delay, played very well in that game.
Yeah, we came out and we absolutely destroyed NC State after
Right.
that lightning delay.
And Clemson, obviously didn't get the W,
Right.
but played well in
But
the
it
game
was
with the weather.
lapses that killed that one. It wasn't even. Yeah, we
Right.
played well in the weather. To hold a team like Clemson to 17 points was a fantastic showing for our defense. And the
Exactly.
defense lacked in the second half of the last game, giving
Right.
up 17 points to one of the worst offensive teams in the nation. So, this is the first time I think all year that I faulted the defense because the defense had been fantastic going forward. So
Absolutely.
I won't fault them at all, but they did have a lapse in the second half of that Wake Forest game. But right now, I think it could be a good. It's a huge game to win. I hope we don't fall into a trap because I think we are better than this team. On paper, Virginia Tech came in looking a lot better than us.
Yeah.
But right now, as the season's progressed, I think we've taken a huge step over Virginia Tech. Our losses don't dictate who we are, and I think we can get a big win down in Blacksburg. So
I think that I agree.
Good.
So,
we'll go with predictions. You want to start off?
Sure. Like you said, with the weather being a factor, we've played well. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game because of that. I think it's going to be a ground-and-pound game
I
for
agree.
BC, which, obviously it favors them. We've got a lot of different options. You have the sophomore running backs we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You have Hilliman, Sherman if he needs to.
Yep.
And then, obviously, Murphy.
Yep.
So, whichever way you look, whoever's working is going to get the carries, and then they can mix it up if need be. But I do think it's going to be probably on the lower scoring side.
Sure.
I'll give it a 24-20 scoreline.
Okay. I agree with you completely. I think it's going to be ground and pound. I don't think we're going to throw the ball that much, especially if it's raining. If it's a bad raining game, nobody's going to want to throw that ball, and especially Murphy. If Murphy's going to throw long, it's going to be a problem. I don't know how well the Virginia Tech quarterback has been this year. Obviously, has been that well, judging the record. If our defense stands true and our offense can get, a few key offensive possessions, I think it's going to be a big punting game back and forth. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say 21-17. I don't think we go to our kickers at all. I think we're a very gutsy team in this one. I think we go up early, and second half our defense stands true, and we have enough points in the first half to really help us and carry us get that win. So that's what I'm really hoping for from the game. Hopefully we get a big one. It's really necessary, and we'll be looking at bowl eligibility next week, hopefully, if we can talk about that. So
hopefully it'll be a big week around here.
There we go. So you want to move into our call-in topic?
Yeah, sure. Move
All
right
right,
into
we'll
it.
move into it. So if anybody wants to call, we'd love to have you. You can talk about anything on the show. Our call-in topic, our general topic this week is, with Halloween tomorrow, just 5 hours, less than 5 hours away here at BC and anywhere on the East Coast, what is your favorite, or top 3, top 5, top 10, top 25, whatever you want to go through, Halloween candies? What category, what kind, whatever you want to talk about, we're here to talk about it with you. We're going to give you our top candies of choice, obviously. Big candy fan here. We're approaching the quarter mark, so we'll give you time to think about that. We'll play you the intro to our fabulous Two Dude show, and we'll be right back after the break.
Matt Ryan, 21 of 24, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Still a
It's
dude.
better than this. Guys being dudes.
Matt Ryan, that's a dude.
Heisman Trophy. Bronco Nagurski Award.
Ultimate dude.
Raji on my left. Herzlich on my right.
2 dudes. O-line you, bunch of dudes. Dudes to the right, dudes to the left, stuck in the middle with you.
WZBC, the Boston College Radio Network, the voice of the Eagles.
Back right into it. And like I said, we're going to get into our call-in topic. So, TJ, let me ask you
Here we
first. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. As I was younger, I wasn't a huge Halloween fan. I was never that kid that loved, going around house to house trick-or-treating. I loved the candy aspect, obviously. Nothing's better than free candy. That sounded wrong, but still. Nothing's better than that. So Halloween was a huge holiday for my entire town, entire area. But I wasn't a big fan of it. I was scared of a lot of things when I was younger. I was a very weird child in that respect. So I didn't like dressing up as the gory people, as the I guess spooky people. I don't know how to put it. But I wasn't a huge fan of Halloween. But as I've grown to love it. And candy-wise, I always had the ones that I would trade with my siblings. And the number one on my list was Reese's. Reese's was my candy.
Now, just break you right there for a second. All right. Could you just pronounce the name of the candy one more time?
Oh, I know. Okay, Reese's.
Reese's. Okay,
I say Reese's.
All right. A lot of people, we had a heated debate about this the other day.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, at least from my experience, in this area say Reese's.
Reese's.
I, however, am cognizant of the fact that it's Reese's. It's named
Reese's.
after the guy.
Yes.
But I have never met somebody who called it Reese's until I came here.
Well, here I am. Yeah, I can't think of another. I mean, I know what you're saying. Reese's. I've always called it Reese's.
No, and it makes sense. Good. It makes sense because it would be Reese's Pieces. That makes sense.
Exactly.
But I still pronounce that Reese's PCs.
Like
he's selling computers, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know.
that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So you pronounce it Reese's.
No, I say Reese's.
Oh, you say Reese's. Okay.
Reese's.
No.
I'm in between. I don't like. It's not a full I, but it's not Reese's. It's not.
No, it's definitely Reese's.
No, I think it is, but I'm
it's
too lazy to change it now.
Maybe that is the way to be. I don't know. I've heard it both ways, and I really haven't batted an eye to it. But now that you say it, that does make sense. Reese's, whatever. It's my favorite candy, regardless. I don't care how you pronounce it. I don't care what it's called. Reese's peanut butter cups are my favorite. They're the perfect balance of chocolate and peanut butter. So if somebody had it and they gave you the option, there's another topic that we're going to talk about right now. When you were going door to door Halloween, what is appropriate? Them, the person, giving you the bowl and you get to choose one, or them just giving you one from the bowl? Like, because I've experienced both, where that person holds the bowl behind the door and they're like, "Oh, how are you?" and just give you one, and it ends up being, like not knocking Laffy Taffy, but nobody wants Laffy Taffy.
Nobody wants banana Laffy.
Yeah.
Taffy.
Oh, that's just horrendous. No,
Laffy Taffy is acceptable.
I am not a fan of Laffy Taffy. Or, oh man, I'm trying to think of. I didn't even think of bad candies. Oh, I should have thought of bad candies too. But
candy corn. Candy corn is by far the worst.
Horrendous.
All right, thank you. Because
Yeah.
people get into that at Halloween time. That is like the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Absolutely not. I'm not gonna embarrass him. But there's a kid in my hall. Every day offers me candy corn. I'll never take it. I appreciate it. I always say thank you. I don't know if he's listening. Danny, if you're listening. Thanks for the offer, but I will never take candy corn. I don't know why people buy it. It doesn't even, it's just like biting into a packet of sugar. That's what it's not
wax.
even that. I don't even, I can't even describe how much I dislike candy corn. So that's probably the worst. I'll agree with that. If they just pull out like actual pieces of candy corn and throw it in your bucket, I'm never coming back to
You know what I'll tell you though? I'll say this. A lot of people dub it like a horrible thing to receive on Halloween.
Yes.
But I take the opposite stance.
Okay.
You ever get the little packets of Halloween-shaped pretzels?
Yes.
When you've eaten so much sugar in the night,
yes,
it's nice to have some real carbohydrate.
Absolutely. No, my grandma, notorious for the pretzels. Oh, and they're fantastic. They're
good pretzels.
I mean, I'm a big fan of candy, but I don't have a problem if you're going to give me a bag of Lay's chips or if you're going to give me a bag of pretzels, bag of Doritos. Yeah. I love that. That is going out of your way and giving us something more
at least
expensive.
Variety.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's I love that. I love those Halloween pretzels. When you're eating those Halloween pretzels in May, then you've run into a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for Halloween, those Halloween pretzels are absolutely out of this world.
Yeah.
So I would take those any day of the week. They're not my favorite, but I mean they are up there. If I'm going for, top of the line, I'm going to give you top 3 right now. Reese's Pieces. Skittles.
Pieces or butter or cups?
Just Reese's. I'm sorry. Anything Reese's. It could be Pieces. I don't care. Reese's. Skittles. Smarties.
Smarties.
Yeah.
That's an interesting call.
Yeah, those are. It goes chocolate. Like I'm a big fan of chocolate, but you can't just do chocolate. Like that's going to run you into the ground. So I went chocolate, and then you got this. Well, not really sour, but yeah, sweet. So sweet Skittles, and then
you get the sour Skittles.
Exactly, sour Skittles.
Skittles are good
I will.
stuff.
Yeah,
that's a rare find.
Exactly. Those are really good, and those are relatively new. I mean, they had none of those when I was a child. Yeah. Yeah, you're getting old when you start saying that.
Yeah, I know.
It's true though. Kids don't know the good stuff like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network.
It's
but
true.
we won't get into that. Yeah, way too old.
That would be like a whole hour.
Yeah,
itself.
that could be its own topic. Yeah, but so there's my top 3: Reese's, Skittles, and Smarties. I can't get enough of any of them. I have an entire bag of Skittles in my room. Reese's I haven't had that much up here. Sometimes I splurge and have one
I'm
Reese's.
sorry. If we can rant for a second here.
Okay.
BC Dining Hall, at least on Stewart, selling the Reese's pumpkins $1.29 for a single pumpkin.
Those.
They're sitting right there. They're tantalizing. They're right at the register. You go up. You say hello to Lynn, the cashier.
Oh, my favorite.
Give her a nice hello.
Obviously.
And you grab one. Hey, Lynn, how much is this? It's $1.29.
How big are they?
They're like people. It's like that big. It's probably
like half the size of your hand.
Yeah, half the size of the palm.
Man.
And
I haven't even seen those. I know that they have on the fly next to the dining hall.
It's probably cheaper and on the
fly.
They
have they're like, I don't want to give you a number if there's Boston College faithful living out there, but they're probably like $1.20 at the most for 2, and then they have 2 sizes. So I don't even know what the different sizes are, but I just go in there and buy it anyway. But
it's just
the worst is when they get you off. Yeah, when they get you off the actual plan, because my plan is suffering right now. Not really suffering. I'm like the average. I'm like the normal average type of kid. I think I just got under 1,000 today.
Oh yeah, I'm at 14.25.
Okay, so yeah, you must eat off a lot or not. Do you go home a lot? Is that where you eat, or you just?
I don't have a lot of meals at home. No, I don't know. I don't get drinks.
I don't get drinks either.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe I don't know. I just eat a lot. I don't know. Well, whatever it is, I think I just broke 1,000 today, so that's nice. Yeah, hopefully I make it. I will. There's a lot of people who are worse than me. I know that. So I'm about the average, maybe a little under average, when going in that category. But I'll be all right. So I can't get any like sweets or anything in the dining hall.
Yeah.
I'll always go to On the Fly. I have tons of money on the Fly.
There you go.
So that's where I get my Reese's. But I actually don't eat that many Reese's. What I've been eating, it doesn't count as a candy. I don't know if it's going to count. Those Welch's fruit snacks.
See, like
those are.
You live here long enough, you consume enough of them that it's got to count as a candy.
Yeah, I would fully put it under. If someone put that in my basket on Halloween or bag, wherever you carry it,
it's a hero move.
I mean, Welch's fruit snacks. That's my breakfast half the time. I just grab a fruit snack and just walk straight out. So I've done enough talking about candy. Give me your top 3.
Top 3. All right. So it's a tough one. This one's a rare find.
Okay.
This is my favorite candy, just in general.
Of all time, yeah.
It's a fast break bar. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. It's a Reese's product. Reese's product. Yeah. And it's got a little bit of chocolate, peanut butter, and nougat.
Okay.
It's delicious.
I've never had one, but I know what it is.
Oh, they're fantastic. You won't really see them on Halloween. Their newer candy came out when it was maybe like 10 to 12 range, just enough time to discover them. But they haven't really made it mainstream enough to hit Halloween.
Interesting.
But every once in a while, you'll see them.
Okay.
And that's always the best find.
All right. So it's like a rare candy that when you find it, it's just amazing.
Definitely.
It's like that thing that you can't constantly consume. So when you get it, it's like it's amazing.
It is.
That's
definitely
nice. Numero dos.
This is way out there.
Okay.
The blow pops with the bubble gum in the middle.
Fantastic.
Those are always a good find.
Now here's the real question though: the gum in the middle or the Tootsie Pop?
No, the gum in the middle. The Tootsie Pop, Tootsie Rolls are great, but you can.
I honestly, I don't know if I have an opinion on that. I think the actual lollipop part is better around the Tootsie Roll one, and I think that
really? See, I wouldn't say that. I would say that's why I like the bubble gum.
Interesting, because of the actual flavor.
Sour.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. It is more sour. I don't know. That's a good point, though. Yeah, definitely the gum, though. I would agree the gum is better than the Tootsie Roll in the middle. So the owl was wrong. Doesn't take that many licks. But anyway, number 3.
Number 3. Now, this is a toss-up. I mean, Kit Kats are great. Reese's Cups are great.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Smarties. I would not put that. That wouldn't sniff my top 3 though.
Interesting.
I'd probably have to go with a tie here between Milky Way and Twix. Just anything with a little bit of caramel in there.
See, I'm not a fan of either.
Really?
I'm not a fan
you're
of
just
either.
not a caramel fan?
No, I'm not a caramel fan, to be honest. Like, I went through that stage. That's like, I put them together. It's Twix, it's Milky Way, and then it's Three Musketeers. And I know Three Musketeers completely different, but I always put them in the same category as a kid.
Interesting.
Because I didn't like any of them, and then I actually tried a Three Musketeers, and I like fell in love with that like marshmallow center.
Yeah,
I haven't had one
you
in
gotta love the nougat.
like long time, but I always categorize them as the same. I don't know why I did. Maybe I don't know if the same company makes them. Maybe that's what it was. But when I was a kid, I always put those 3 together, and I fell in love with one of them, but I don't eat it that much. But the other 2, I just couldn't do. I can't do the other 2, but I do respect that if you're a caramel fan. Just want to give a quick shout out to my father who just texted me, and he's ashamed that I'm eating gummies every morning for breakfast. So sorry. No, he said it's actually his favorite, but yeah, that's that. When you're on the run, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. Gummies is the way to go. Gives that quick
Gummies
sugar,
is the way to go.
sugar
Keep
burst.
It real
Yeah,
with Nutri-Grain bars up in my room.
Oh well, no, I have
on.
tons of Nutri-Grain bars, but you just can't.
All right.
You can't every day. You can't. Oh man.
Yeah. I've received.
Here we go. I just saw it, so I'm gonna mention it. Yeah.
I didn't get to it.
If we're talking about family, let's do it.
The gun's already in my head. I didn't even get a chance to mention it. I was recently turned, as you were, to Three Musketeers to $100,000.
Okay.
Never had it. It was Mom's favorite always. Always gave it to her when I came home with it. It was a rare thing to see.
You always had that one candy you gave to your parents, or was like if your brother had like one packet of Skittles, and then you were like, you can have 17 million of this one. Just give me that Skittles, and they'd be like, no, because nobody likes that one candy. I couldn't tell you what that candy was. It was way back in the day, but there was always that type of candy.
The Necco wafers.
Oh well.
When you got the Necco wafers,
that's like dust.
It is. We had this one house in our neighborhood
that
always gave Necco wafers, and I just couldn't even.
That's just brutal.
It is.
It's just not fair, is what it is. No. That's just sad.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out here.
Yep.
To nobody in particular.
Okay.
But if you're giving out the full size candy bars, doesn't even have to be the king size, but the full size candy bars.
Oh, shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
You are a true dude.
There is one house in my neighborhood that, I mean, they're rich. They have like the biggest house, like the biggest everything. They have 2 houses in one, whatever it is. And you'd always go there, and they would just give you, and no exaggeration. I know if you were ever a baseball player, you would know what this is, because after every game when you were in the Little League, you'd always go, you know the giant pixie sticks?
Yes.
Giant. They would always have a choice of a giant, 2-foot tall pixie stick, or giant chocolate bars, and they give you 2 of the Hershey's, just giant ones. I mean, they were out of their mind. That was Oh no, Hershey's is the original.
Yeah, it's just classic.
milk chocolate. I don't do dark.
No.
Okay, some people do dark. I know my mom loves dark. But yeah,
I can't do dark chocolate myself.
No, dark chocolate. Yeah, it's better for you, but I mean, I can't do it. It's just very bitter.
If you're eating candy, I mean, I feel like how good could it really be either way?
Exactly. I mean, you want to enjoy the candy, right?
Exactly.
That's my opinion. So there's our talk on candy.
I guess people just, I don't know. Gotta be more opinionated on candy.
Exactly, yeah. You gotta have some real strong opinions on candy to call in, I guess. But I mean, we did mention the mother and the father, so.
I'll tell you what, I'm more excited this year for Halloween than I think I ever was as a kid.
Because of college?
Because of college.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know what to expect.
2, 3, no, more than that. I don't think I've gone. Maybe I went freshman year of high school. I don't think I've been since then.
Oh no, I did. I would usually just go straight to a friend's house after school or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in New Jersey, I mean, Hurricane Sandy canceled Halloween one year.
We had snow. Yeah.
And last year was snow. We didn't even have. No, we did have it last year because
ours got moved.
Friend
towns adjacent to us were moving it a day.
We probably did too. I can't remember. All I remember is me and my friends we were One Direction. So that's
That's interesting. What are you going to be this year?
I'm not that crazy this year. Like, I really put a lot of thought into it. I'm like, I'm not spending a lot of money.
All right.
I'm not going to make my own costume.
So what is it?
So I'm going to be a very religious Tim Tebow.
A very religious Tim Tebow.
So just normal Tim Tebow. So I have my Tim Tebow Florida Gators jersey. I have my eye black. I'm going to write John 3:16. I'm going to have a giant cross I'm going to live this up. I'm going to be Tim Tebow to the max.
See, I feel like the carrying things around is not the best choice here.
What am I carrying?
A giant cross.
Oh, no, not actually carrying a giant
Oh,
cross.
just
a
like,
neck. Yeah,
okay,
a necklace, yeah.
See, like
like a giant cross. No, I'm not carrying.
No,
I'm not.
Because when you look at costumes here, I was looking at.
I'm not carrying.
Literally carrying the cross price around as Tim Tebow would.
Imagine Tim Tebow has done it. So
yeah.
What about you?
I am. So see, this is the thing. I need one for Friday and Saturday.
Okay, all right.
And
Party
animal.
animal.
I don't have one for Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. So you may just double or nothing. Maybe go.
Well, now that I've put it out,
maybe
on,
if you
on
don't
the,
see the same people, it's like it didn't even happen. It's like
but now it's on
like,
the internet. Now there's proof that I doubled up.
No, okay, well. It's going to be posted after. No, it probably won't. Actually, it'll be up tonight. So sorry. Maybe if they don't get to it till Sunday because they're partying too much. I don't know. But it's like having a Monday class, a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a Tuesday, Thursday.
So we're just
you wear the same
on this show now.
Exactly. If you wear the outfit Monday and then wear your same outfit Thursday, it's like it never happened. You wore it once.
Happened.
So anyway.
So
what is it?
Yeah. I am. Have you seen Animal House?
I have.
I'm going as Bluto. So I got the college sweatshirt. I'm gonna go plaid on the bottom, plaid on the top under the sweatshirt.
Nice.
And I feel like it would be frowned upon to walk around with an empty bottle of Jack. So I'm gonna leave that part of the costume out.
Let's not. Maybe just a water bottle and write Jack on it. Yeah.
I feel like that even might.
Yeah, that may be worse. Oh man.
But go as Bluto from Animal House, and classic. Then see if we can throw something together.
There we go. So there's your opinion on Halloween. We just went over the halfway point in our show. We're going to hit you with the intro again. Two Dudes Sports Show. You're listening live here. Here we go with our intro.
Matt Ryan, 21 of 24, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Still a dude.
Better than this. Guys being dudes.
Matt Ryan, that's a dude.
Heisman Trophy. Bronco Nagurski Award.
Ultimate dudes.
Raji on my left. Herzlich on my right.
2 dudes. O-line you. Bunch of dudes. Dudes to the right. Dudes to the left. Stuck in the middle with you.
WZBC, the Boston College Radio Network, the voice of the Eagles.
All right, back now with Two Dudes Sports Show. We moved on from Halloween. Good talk.
We'll go right back into sports.
Yeah,
sorry for anybody who was listening for pure sports reasons. We're very sorry, but we're trying to spice things up. We're gonna have some more interesting topics throughout the year. So there's one of them. Halloween, obviously tomorrow. If you don't enjoy Halloween, don't celebrate it. Sorry, but we're gonna move straight into World Series baseball.
Absolutely.
We're gonna talk about what happened last night. We got a new crowned World Series champion. Technically a dynasty, I guess you can call them now.
Technically a dynasty.
Yeah, technically it wasn't 3 years in a row, but technically, I mean, they only care about odd numbers. But yeah, did you watch that game last night?
I did watch the game.
I did also watch the game.
It was. It's amazing how invested you can get in it in those waning moments of the series. Mm-hmm. I was disappointed in the outcome.
Sure.
I will say this: my saving grace was Bumgarner.
Oh, unbelievable! A lot of people are saying Giants didn't win. It was Bumgarner who won. That's obviously not true because people had to hit the ball. I mean, Hunter Pence had a fantastic series. There's tons. Sandoval obviously still came out and played like he usually did.
Yeah.
There was an all-around the second baseman yesterday. I can't think of his name. For the Giants, made that diving stop that really legitimately saved the game. And I think it was like the 5th inning off a Hosmer grounder up the middle. It was almost a double play, but it was just an unbelievable play. It's actually a rookie who made that play for the Giants. So there's tons of people who contributed just in that Game 7. And then overall, just absolutely dominated. I mean, Tim Hudson got his first ring, so good for him.
Yeah,
if you look at people in that, but I think you and I were both pulling for the Royals.
Yeah, I was pulling for the Royals. Like I said, it was great to see Bumgarner just because you feel like you saw a piece of history. You saw some guy come off 2 days rest and pitch 5 innings, just lights out baseball.
And I don't know, did you play baseball in high school?
No.
Okay.
Coached a little bit, but didn't play.
Baseball in high school, I mean, it's obviously not the same as the MLB. But when I pitched, the second day after you pitch, so you pitch a 4:00 game, so you ice around 8:00. The next day, you feel all right. You feel a little sore, not too bad. That second day is where you just run into a brick wall. It is one of the worst feelings. Third day, you're right back to fine. If you, for any reason, have to pitch on that second day, God bless you. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I can barely, in some situations, I'd go in the outfield and play on that if I had a game on the second day. And at times I would pray that I wouldn't have to gun somebody out at home because, I can't even throw the ball 10 feet at times. But you just fight through the pain at that point. Adrenaline would kick in. I guess that's what happened to him last night. I can't even imagine the amount of pain he must have been in to be on two. I don't even know how many pitches he threw, but he threw a complete game. And that's unbelievable that he came back and did that. I can't even imagine.
66.
Can't even imagine. Yeah.
Somewhere
It's not even like he came in the ninth and closed it out.
No.
The dude
he was
pitched
5 innings.
5 innings.
It's ridiculous.
5 innings.
Ridiculous. 13 innings in
one
3
of the
days.
best, probably the best pitching performance I've seen in the
14.
World Series in probably, I don't want to say my entire lifetime, but probably my entire lifetime of one sole pitcher who dominated a series so amazingly. Gave up one run? I think one run over 21 innings, maybe 2 at the most. Unbelievable. Great job. Hats off to you, Bumgarner. If there's anybody who deserved it, it's you.
Absolutely. I mean, to come out with 3 wins in a World Series, like that's the 40s kind of stuff.
That's unbelievable. That's like
it's just
that's like
it's
2-man
amazing.
rotation type of stuff.
Yeah,
and it was. I mean, he obviously there was no consideration for anybody else to win that MVP.
No,
I said,
and shouldn't.
I said it with my group of friends last night watching. I mean, it probably wouldn't have come true because it very, very rarely does. But I think
if they lost,
I still think Bumgarner gets the MVP.
Yes,
I think he gets the MVP. And everybody was like, "Oh, well, you really can't do that."
No,
there was nobody. I mean, the Royals, if they won, was a complete Royals team win. If they win, I think Ventura had an amazing Game 6. The pitcher for the Royals, who lost his buddy Tavares from from the Cardinals in a tragic car accident. He was completely unhittable. He threw a fantastic game, and it was a great tribute to his friend. Royals did a great job with the tribute to him. Terrible, terrible story with that. But, if anybody would have got it, I would have put him maybe on the front line because he won Game 2 and Game 6.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't Bumgarner. Bumgarner absolutely dominated for 21 innings. And even if he would have lost that last inning or maybe even given up 1 run, if they would have went into extras, if they would have tied. But I still think he gets I personally thought he would get it either way.
Yeah. I mean, end of the day, he was definitely great. I was excited to see such a great performance. But, like we discussed, was definitely pulling for Kansas City. The Alex Gordon play.
Oh, man. There's 2 things I want to talk about. Yeah, the Alex Gordon play, and then I'll get to the next one. But you want to start about the Alex Gordon play?
So Alex
opinions
Gordon
on it? Yeah.
Comes up 2 outs and just...
I think 2 strikes, too. Did he have 2? Maybe just 1.
I'm not sure. I can't remember the count. But
whatever it was, it was 1 or 2 strikes.
In any case, 2 outs, got Perez behind him, and just drills it into
line drive shots. Yeah,
comes down. So just different elements to this play. First off, could he have got there? Probably not. You don't want to make that diving play.
Exactly.
Although that would be a fantastic
way to end the series. But
had he made
but you look like look really dumb if you don't play conservative, especially with Bumgarner pitching. Because worst comes to worst, you play that ball in a hop, he gets a single.
Right, exactly.
And then worst comes to worst came true.
Yeah, he pulls up, gets right by him.
Yep.
And then you've got the 2 outs in the
and
seventh
for
game.
some reason, I mean, not really some reason. I don't know who the left fielder was. Was it Ishikawa? Maybe. It was Pence plays right.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Ishikawa. I don't really remember. Or who was the center fielder? Was Perez, I think, or Blanco. One of the 2. Whoever the center fielder was, either Perez or Blanco, and maybe the other one was backing him up. The left fielder did not back him up because he saw it as a line drive shot right to him. So he wasn't even thinking anything about it.
Right. And then
suddenly
he goes and runs down the ball. And all right, I'm sorry, I've never seen a ball muffed so bad. He goes down to pick it up, and it kicks 20 feet the other way.
He starts running after it. When that ball got to the warning track, I turned around and said, "It's gonna be inside the park home run." I
really thought so.
Was in tears. I was like, "Are you kidding me? If this happens, this is going to be the most insane thing I think I've ever experienced."
And you know what? It looks they did a little camera switch. They did him pulling into third.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had gotten to third before the left fielder had thrown the ball in.
It was exactly he was back foot, so his front foot was leaning off third base as Brendan Crawford, the shortstop, was receiving the ball.
Right.
So the ball was
you saw in the replay that it wasn't as close as you thought.
No.
But looking before, it looked as though he had a real shot to go.
It was, I would have said, I mean, from the like the replay and stuff going forward, I think he would have had probably about a 30 to 35% chance of scoring.
Yeah,
after
looking at the replay, it didn't look like it was as close.
In time, I would have thought 50-50.
Right.
But, I mean, you couldn't see the whole field.
No, definitely. And
yeah.
you can't.
There's
so, thrown out of the
so
field
I don't know if you have an opinion on whether you would have sent him or not.
I probably wouldn't have sent him.
Okay.
I think 2 outs, Game 7.
Exactly.
All
you need is a single. But, there's so many different factors. I mean, I'm just going to lay out probably, like, as many as I can possibly think of. Number one, we'll start with the should have sent him method. Alex Gordon was not running 100% out of the box.
No, he wasn't.
Because he hit a line drive single up the middle. No way, like, as a hitter, do you ever think this is going to be an inside the park home run.
No, but that's a situation where you gotta be going.
It's Game 7. It's the World Series. It's the last out. Why aren't you sprinting?
Right.
And what he really was he got caught looking at the ball, line drive up the middle, like a normal hitter was. Didn't even think anything of it. Thought of it as a regular CNI single. And suddenly, you see it bounce. Everybody screams, and he starts getting on his horse a little bit. He gets to second base.
Stumbles a little bit at second.
Stumbles a little bit, because he's like realizing, oh my God, maybe I'm going to score. And he did. And this is what kills me. He's staring at the left fielder as he's running to third. The number one job. I was one of the slowest kids on my baseball team. So you needed every base running maneuver there was in the book to get there. The number one thing you never ever do is you never turn your head and look at where the ball is when you're rounding the bases. You never do that, ever. Yeah. You look at that's what your third base coach is for. That's what your third base coach was for. He got caught in a situation where he was like starstruck, and he's like, will I score? And looked, and that 2-second look cost him 2 seconds on the field.
Yeah.
So now his chances go from about 35% to 40%. You also need Brendan Crawford to throw an absolute strike to home plate to get Buster Posey. And Alex Gordon is not a small guy. If that throw was the least bit offline where Posey was out of the catching box area, and Buster Posey is the reason why this rule was instilled, the whole running into the whole running into the catcher thing. He's a least bit off the area. Gordon's doing a maneuver around. If he's in that area or whatever it is that the catcher can't be there in the exact whatever the box drawn out, it'd be if they would have had a collision at home plate. I mean, I can't even imagine what would have happened, where Posey would have been positioned, how Crawford... Crawford was probably one of the most scared person in the entire stadium at that point, because he has to throw a perfect ball 160, 170 feet, a one bouncer to the plate. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be, I don't want to say perfect, because he did have time. Gordon obviously wasn't going to... He's not the fastest guy on the team. It wasn't like your shortstop was running around, your leadoff hitter, Escobar. But, I mean, it would have had to been a really good throw. So I think there's about a 40% chance looking back at it that he could have scored if the throw was the least bit offline. Crawford maybe bobbles it. Who knows what could have happened. But it was so set up that if Gordon was running out of the box faster, I don't think there's, a second guess. I think you send him. And in that case... You don't fault the third base coach at all. That's one of the toughest jobs, one of the toughest calls to make in that situation, because if he gets thrown out at home, oh my goodness, you're gone. You're gone. Yeah. You're fired. People blame you. They're all-star catcher. He was the starting catcher in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Was he having the best series? No. He wasn't the best player on that team. That's why he was batting 7th. And it's Bumgarner. So you look at that and say, how many hits did we get off Bumgarner in the entire series? It's probably under 5.
Yeah. I'm sorry, and just that last at bat was disgraceful.
Oh man,
it was a hard thing to watch. Get pumped 5 straight 92 at the same spot in the zone, and he still went.
Because I was a pitcher in high school. I wasn't like that great, but I was a pitcher in high school. The balls you need to throw a high fastball 5 times in a row, maybe even 6. I don't even know if it could 5 or 6 times in a row.
Yeah, the 6th time was lower, and then he popped it up.
Yes. But that is so ballsy. So ballsy to do that.
And he still went. He went every time.
I could not believe what I was seeing. I was like, okay, here comes the curve. He's going to drop a curve on him eventually. Oh, another high one. Okay, he'll drop a curve now. Oh, another high one. All right, he'll do it here. Salvador Perez must have been the most confused man on the face of the earth every time. To throw, as a final out in the World Series, a fastball hitter, to throw and then hit the spot every time, I can't even, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
For Bumgarner to hit, to not, you throw a ball 3 inches lower, Perez may hit it 700 feet out of the ballpark if you make a mistake.
Yeah, the one that Perez caught, the first foul, not the one that he popped up for the out. He was on it.
Yes. I don't think Bumgarner threw one mistake pitch that entire time, though.
No, he didn't.
There wasn't one that said Perez could have, smacked. He wasn't going to hit a home run in that case. I didn't think he was either.
I just needed a single.
That's all you need.
I was so excited for it to go into extra innings. I was really hoping.
That's why everybody was like, why didn't you send him? Oh, should have sent him. That would have been either way, that would have been an amazing ending to a World Series to get thrown out of home plate. It's just, he played it safe, third base coach. Gordon wasn't the fastest on the team, wasn't running hardest out of the box. It's a real tough call to make. It was a 50-50 chance, and he did the safe thing where Gordon was just rounding third, barely. I mean, maybe he slowed up a little at third base, but rounding third, so maybe he's a step off third base when Crawford has the ball. So he's probably out by 20 feet if it's a perfect throw. 20, 15 feet. You look like an idiot if you send him.
Yeah.
So you have that aspect of it. It's just, especially with Perez up, you thought maybe there's a chance. The only problem is Bumgarner. Bumgarner was not phased. For Posey to call 5 or 6 fastballs high up in the zone, I mean, my goodness, the confidence you must have in yourself. Because there is no way on the face of the earth I ever would have done that. I mean, it surprised me so much for him to not throw any other pitch. And Bumgarner doesn't throw like Aroldis Chapman 106 numbers. He throws a solid 92
the first
mile-an-hour fastball.
Were 92 every single time. It was the same exact pitch 5 times in a row, and he got Salvador to go on it 3 out of the 5 times. One of the 5 times that he took for a ball, he almost went.
Yep.
And then one of them.
Well, I mean, in that case, he's the most jittery man on the planet right there. He's a young guy's Perez.
Right.
That's what I said earlier, and I think we both said it. What was going to come to hurt the Royals was their inexperience. Right. So you give them time, they may come back. The only problem is, will they get back? Will they have this? They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They are a great team. I think they'll make the playoffs again, judging how they did this year.
Yeah,
but they needed this year because the Giants, they would have lost. Been like, we'll come back in 2016 and give them another chance because that's what they do. That's what the Giants do. But I mean, they shut it down. Bumgarner, tip of the cap, man, unbelievable.
Yeah. Really nice jump.
And we look at that one play. Another thing that was pretty interesting was, did you 100% think they were going to bring Bumgarner out for the 9th?
No, I didn't.
I had my doubts too. I was very concerned when they weren't warming up anybody in the bullpen. I said, "Wow, they must have talked to him." And and for him to go 4, for him to say, "Hey, you know what? Let's go 1 more."
4 was ridiculous.
Yes,
4 was crazy.
For him to say, "Go 1 more," I mean, that's the part where I started believing. But that 8th inning, 9th inning, that 8th inning, I thought maybe it's time for the closer. I mean, is your closer better than your starting pitcher? No. But is your closer better in these situations? I would think yes. I don't think Bumgarner's ever been in a situation like this where you have a starting pitcher being the reliever and the closer and getting the win.
Yeah. In
a Game 7 of the World Series after your team almost, screwed you over basically with a muff play in center field. And I mean, nobody was happier in the world than that center fielder. Let me tell you, nobody was happier than him. So. Man, what an ending to that series, though. What an ending, and you can only say so much about it, but it's a shame the Royals didn't get it because I was pulling for the underdog, the Cinderella story, but nobody deserves it more.
I talked about it with my father, just being a Boston fan. It's hard to now see somebody who has 3 titles in a short span, too. That's
it's
tough
not,
for people around here.
You're not the only ones anymore,
but, in any case, give them the intro one more time, and then we'll head into some football.
Yes, sir. We'll do that right now.
Sounds good.
All right, here it is.
Matt Ryan, 21 of 24, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Still a dude.
Better than this. Guys being dudes.
Matt Ryan, that's a dude.
Heisman Trophy. Bronco Nagurski Award.
Ultimate dudes.
Raji on my left. Herzlich on my right.
2 dudes. O-line you, bunch of dudes. Dudes to the right, dudes to the left, stuck in the middle with you.
WZBC, the Boston College Radio Network, the voice of the Eagles.
All right, and back here we are. Final 10 minutes of the show. We're going to get right into some NFL football.
Yep.
Thursday night game tonight, Saints, Panthers. I didn't like how it was being marketed on ESPN. A lot of the promos said, played this off as a marquee game between two elite quarterbacks in the game.
Yeah.
When did Cam Newton become an elite quarterback
Never.
in the game? He's
Never.
not. Had a good season, but let's be real. He's still finding himself.
I don't even know what the Panthers' record this year is. I mean,
good.
It's not that great.
3-4-1.
He's
All right. To be fair, and this is an important game now because they're both atop the lead in the NFC South, which is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting at 3-4 and 3-4-1.
Yep.
So this a terrible game, but apparently means something.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess a good game.
It's a big game in the respect of these two teams.
Right.
We had a team like the Saints come out last week and absolutely demolish the Packers, which doesn't surprise me. Was when the Saints are at home, they are a completely different team. This week they're on the road. So it'll be interesting to see how the Saints do, how they fare against the Panthers. Panthers, they haven't had the best luck at home either, so they're not even a home team. So it's not even like, you're walking into Saints land. I think if the Saints were at home, I'd have 100% confidence in the Saints tonight.
Yeah,
but they're one of those teams that can really confuse you at times, where they'll destroy the Packers, put up 44 points against Green Bay, and then tonight they may struggle with the Panthers. If you're going to talk about elite quarterbacks, obviously Drew Brees deserves it. He is an elite quarterback. The Panthers, the only problem that I have, I think if you put pieces around Cam Newton, you can get stuff done. But then you say, you had Steve Smith. He's doing huge things in Baltimore right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean,
will Drew Brees come out tonight and absolutely destroy the Panthers? Because I don't think their defense is anything that special. Or, will Cam Newton give the Saints a run for their money? I'm not really sure. So
yeah, I mean, Panthers obviously lost Steve Smith, lost Brandon LaFell. They don't have too many offensive weapons. Greg Olsen having a marquee year though. I still don't see the Panthers giving the Saints too much to handle. I think their 3-4-1 is not as valid maybe as the Saints 3-4-1, just because the Saints are a pre-established team. They've already been they've been a good team for a while, whereas the Panthers are still on their way up. Yeah. Obviously had a good season last year, Kuechly anchoring the defense, but I just
what constitutes a great quarterback too is if you look at like the top quarterbacks right now, and I'm just going to name three: Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. If you're going to name those top three, Tom Brady. If you're going to talk about how long he's been in the league, if you're going to talk about the rotation of wide receivers he's had over his entire career, there's so many of them.
It's
and that's
nice
what
to see somebody from outside New England giving him that because
it's true. It's 100% true. You go from, Welker. He had Randy Moss at one point. Deion Branch. Now number one, you have Amendola and Edelman. Yeah. You have so many different people that you've worked with over your entire career, and to turn them into playmakers and never have a bad season, that's an elite quarterback. You want to look at Peyton Manning, where you had the Colts. He had Reggie Wayne. That's probably his most tenured receiver.
Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison, too. I forgot about Marvin Harrison. Those two right there, the most tenured. But then you got Welker. You've had Demaryius Thomas. You've had so many in between. He's worked with so many. They showed a list of how many touchdowns each receiver caught from Manning. I think there was over 34 to 35 different names on there.
Right.
And it's unbelievable. That's what constitutes a good an elite quarterback right there. So that's what's really going to dictate the game. Yeah, and same thing with Brees. Brees has done it too. He doesn't have any elite people this year, so maybe he hasn't stepped up to the plate as much.
No,
but
Jimmy Graham even having an off season.
If they get a win tonight and go to 500,
my fantasy team.
If they go tonight and go 500, if they get a win tonight, maybe they're starting to become. They're starting to find themselves. They have to give it a little bit of time.
If they get the win tonight, you're atop the division. So
that's all you need.
That's all you need. Exactly.
You don't have to be the best team in the league. You just have to be the best team in your league to get into the playoffs, and then you can pull a Giants and beat everyone. So Saints Panthers. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Saints in this one for the reasons we talked about. I don't think the Panthers defense is where it was last year, and I think that the Saints are just going to be able to ride the high off the big Packers.
Yeah, after coming off the Packers, when I don't think there's any way the Saints go down against the Panthers. It's it's not a fair trade-off. It's really not, and you got to get this win. So Buccaneers and Browns, game number 2. This is one of those games. Just one of those games.
It is one of those games.
Yeah, it's just one. I have no opinion.
Colt McCoy, I'll say this. Colt McCoy impressed me last week. I did watch the Browns game.
He's Redskins.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he was on the
started
Browns,
with
so
the
you're
Browns,
not wrong.
that's why.
It's Brian Hoyer.
It
But
is still Brian Hoyer.
I mean, you're confusing one god with another in that aspect, so it's okay. So Brian Hoyer and...
Brian Hoyer, I'm sorry, yeah.
Oh, man, I don't even know who the Buccaneers
Bucks
were.
quarterback is Glenn. Is
Mike
it John,
Glennon?
Mike
Mike
Glennon?
Glennon?
Glennon, thank you, Mike Glennon.
Some of him. Yeah.
I'll give it to the Browns this one. I mean, I'll just go with Brian Hoyer. At the end of the day, both of these teams are in the basement of the NFL right now.
Yeah, it's not.
So
I'm gonna go with the Browns too, just because they're at home. The Bucks haven't proved anything to me. I think the Browns are gonna win. Cardinals and Cowboys. Tough loss for the Cowboys.
Great loss for the Cowboys. Andy Carney was in pieces after that game.
I can imagine.
I can't say I didn't take a little bit of pleasure in it. Cardinals look good.
Yep.
I mean,
do you think they can go into Dallas and sneak one out?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
I'll give it
Big
to Cardinals.
pitch right there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Big pick. Big pick.
This is about where the Cowboys start unraveling, I think.
I could absolutely see as a Giants fan. Oh man, Jerry Jones just going down in flames right now. But I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think they bounce back. They're at home. I don't think they're gonna lose 2 in a row at home. It's really tough. I think they'll go back. I don't think they're gonna be an elite team like they were in the beginning. But I don't think they're gonna falter this week. I think they'll be all right. So. Cowboys, Eagles, and Texans.
Eagles had a really ugly loss last week.
Mm-hmm.
Really ugly loss, and you hate to see that.
Yep.
But I am not going to stray from Chip Kelly, and I think he's going to go in. Texans have a lot going on right now, and I think
a lot of problems.
The Eagles are going to take it.
Okay, I'm also going to go with the Eagles. I think they bounce right back. Hopefully Nick Foles has a career game. I need you on your fantasy team, on my fantasy team, excuse me. Please, Nick Foles, do something big. I think LaShawn McCoy run all over the Texans. Not that hard. Texans got a big win though last week against Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he constituted as a big win. It was Zach Mettenberger, but
yeah. But I mean, Jadeveon,
I think
Clowney's back.
Exactly. I think the Eagles will have no problem with the secondary of the Texans. If Watt and Clowney can get to the quarterback, that's where I think the Texans can win.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to score a lot. They're not a very high-powered, high-prestige offense.
Still Fitzpatrick in there.
They need their front guys to get in there, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially with the Eagles. So Jets and Chiefs. I mean, I don't think we need to.
I mean,
I picked the Jets to win last week.
Yeah.
And Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions.
Geno Smith threw more interceptions than he had completions. It's going to be Michael Vick now. He looks senile out on the field. I'm going to give it to the Chiefs, no contest. TKO in the first round.
Chiefs. Yeah, I'm not even going to... I can't pick the Jets again. You guys are just... You are in shambles right now, Jets Nation.
Are they 1-6 or 1-7? 1-6, I think.
1-0.
Yeah, 1 that's
it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Jaguars and Bengals.
Jags the same kind of team, but nobody's down there to care about them.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Bengals. Not really a question. AJ Green needs to get his act together, though.
I feel bad that I'm copying you, but honestly, these games are the NFL. Anything can happen given week, but this week, no.
This week seems a little bit cut and dry.
So I'm gonna go with Bengals. Yeah, we got about 1 minute left.
Yeah,
looks like so. Let's just go back and forth. Chargers, Dolphins.
Chargers.
I'm also gonna pick the Chargers in that one. Dolphins at home, no. Vikings and Redskins.
Redskins, good win for Colt McCoy. This is what we're waiting for. Good win for Colt McCoy last week. Builds off it, and he beats the Vikings.
This is where Colt McCoy shows his true self. Vikings. Rams, 49ers.
49ers.
I'm going to take 49ers at home also. Broncos and Pats. Interesting game for you.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is going to be a very telltale game for the Pats.
Great game.
They looked great last week. They've looked great since the Kansas City game.
Yep.
Brady looks to be in somewhat prime form. It definitely did last week.
Yep.
And it's nice to see Brandon LaFell really getting involved because there were some questions about him getting people other than Edelman and Gronkowski involved.
Yep.
I think it's a tough one. I don't know how confident I am, but I can't not pick them, so I'll go with the Patriots.
I'm gonna go against you. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm gonna pick the Broncos in this one. I think they're gonna come in there. I think everybody's been talking about how much better Brady's been than Peyton. There's been so many different stats that have come out that I've seen this week. Not all time, but I'm saying right now. Just like I think Peyton's sick of it, and head to head Brady's been better straight up. Yeah. But I think Peyton's sick of it, and I think he's gonna he's gonna really be looking out for a big win. So I think it'll be a really close game though. It'll be a really close game. Raiders and Seahawks.
Seahawks, not
Yeah,
really a competition.
Raiders, no. Seahawks. Ravens and Steelers.
I'll give it to the Steelers. Came off a huge
win for the Steelers last week. But I'm going to take the Ravens. I think they go into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's one of those teams that has lapses here and there.
Yeah, they can turn it on one week.
Ravens, exactly. So you can't really pick with this one. And finally, my New York Giants against the Indianapolis Colts. Who you got?
I got the Colts. I mean, come on. The Giants? I don't know.
Giants at home. They haven't been home in a while. I think they build off of something. I don't know what that something is, but they're going to build off it, and I think they're going to get a big win. So that's our show. That's our predictions. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, go do that. Two Dudes Sports Show. This will be on YouTube shortly after. Two Dudes Sports Show again. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday. Thanks. Here's our intro. Have a good one.
Matt Ryan, 21 of 24, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Still a
It's
dude.
better than this. Guys being dudes.
Matt Ryan, that's a dude.
Heisman Trophy.
Bronco Nagurski Award. Ultimate dudes.
Raji on my left.
Herzlich on my right. Two dudes. O-line you. Bunch of dudes. Dudes to the right. Dudes to the left. Stuck in the middle with you.
WZBC, the Boston College Radio Network, the voice of the Eagles.